All right, welcome to my free training tonight, where I'm going to go over 3 myths about your Mormon mixed faith marriage. And these 3 things are stopping you from creating more connection, more support, and more respect. We're going to go over the 3 myths, give you a little introduction to myself, go over the 3 myths, and talk about how they're stopping you from creating what you want in your mixed faith marriage and what you can do about it. All right, so for an introduction, my name is Brooke Booth. I'm a certified life coach. I was an attorney for many years where I did complex commercial litigation. These are my 4 kiddos and my very attractive husband. His name's Daniel. I talk about him a lot if you follow me at all. So background on me, I was raised LDS. Parents were raised LDS. Husband was raised LDS. You know, I was very much LDS, BYU, served a mission, married in the temple, obviously 4 kids. Husband was bishop for quite a long time. I did all the things. And in fact, this year we celebrate our 20th wedding anniversary. Well, in 2017, 18, around that time frame, I had a faith transition and I entered into my own mixed faith marriage. And guess what? It was hard. It was jolting. It wasn't much fun. And I fell for all 3 myths that we're going to talk about in this training today. I fell for them all. And that's why I'm going to share them with you. Because if I would have known about them, it would have made things much smoother and much simpler. Then I found coaching, and it really transformed our relationship and helped things move in a much better direction. Okay, 3 myths. Myth number 1, mixed faith marriage is hard, not ideal, and a less than marriage. So I want to teach you something really important here. Your brain tries really, really hard to prove itself right. If you believe a mixed faith marriage is hard or not ideal or less than marriage, your brain is going to work hard to prove that true. You're bombarded with all these data points every day, and your brain is going to sift and sort them and present them to you so they support your current belief system. Now, I call this the ketchup paradox because my husband often goes to the refrigerator and tells me, Brooke, we're out of ketchup. And I go and stand by him, and there it is, top shelf, center position. He's convinced we're out of ketchup, so he can't see it, even though it's right in front of him. Now, we do this with our mixed faith marriages. We're convinced that they're not ideal and they're hard, and we cannot see the good right in front of us. If you have ever bought a new car and now all of a sudden it's the car you see all over the place, same concept. So if you tell your problem, there's a problem. If you tell your brain this is a problem, this is going to be hard, this is going to be rough. To have the marriage you want, you're going to have to prove yourself wrong. And that's a very difficult uphill battle. I know you were probably taught, like I was, that mixed faith marriages are hard. I sat through many lessons about this. But here you are now in your own Mormon mixed faith marriage, and you get to decide if this is a belief that you want to keep on believing. I would suggest you see this as a myth and you drop it like a hot potato. And that you start to cultivate ideas and thoughts and beliefs that a mixed faith marriage can be okay, can be nice, can be fun, can be agreeable, anything but less than or hard and not ideal. If you focus on the problems in your marriage, I guarantee it will undermine connection, it will undermine support, it will undermine respect. You won't be able to see the good things or the catch up that's right in front of you. Okay, that's myth number 1. Myth number 2. It's my fault. I've caused this pain, or I should have done more. I've caused this pain is a typical belief that post-Mormons have. I should have done more. Typical belief that the believing spouse still has. But we share these things. It doesn't necessarily fall that way. But they both fall under this rubric of it's my fault. And I think this one is really important to see as a myth. Of the 3, I think this one's perhaps the most important. What this means is it's my fault, I've caused this, or I should have done more, is that we're fundamentally taking responsibility for our spouse's thoughts, feelings, actions, decisions, all of that. We're taking responsibility for it. We're making it mean we're the problem, or we're laying blame on them and we're making it mean they're the problem. This is important to look at. When your spouse's emotions, their responses, their actions, their thoughts, any number of things are a problem, there are fundamental issues with that happen in a faith transition. Now, first off, when you think you're the problem, this leads to shame or guilt or some such emotion like that. And when we're in shame, we don't show up as our best selves in our relationship. You cannot act from shame in a loving and kind way. It just doesn't work that. You cannot shame yourself kind. You cannot shame yourself loving. Shame leads to hiding. It leads to defensiveness. It leads to withdrawal. When we try to take responsibility for somebody else's emotions and actions and choices and all of that, it means that we're trying to control that. This is the other piece that undermines our marriage. It means that we're responsible for their choices. And so now we have to exert all of this control over them so that we don't have to be the bad guy. And this is where it gets really messy. When we take responsibility for their emotions and their choices, we're trying to control what we cannot control, which is somebody else. And we're often neglecting what we can control, which is ourselves. And I can hear you're saying, Brooke, if I had stayed in the church, he wouldn't be sad. Or Brooke, I really should have done more. We never had family meeting. We didn't go to the temple like we should. And I hear you. And I want you to just consider, when we try to control and manage our spouse's thoughts and emotions and all of that, about their faith transition, about the church, about all of these things, we're fundamentally sending a message that they can't handle it themselves, that they're not capable of making their own decisions, or that their emotions are ours, and so therefore we have to control that, and we have to control them. That has real impacts. Another thing I think it's important to consider in this sort of general myth area is, why is it a problem if your spouse is sad or disappointed? When you live your life solely to avoid others feeling negative emotions, you're going to burn out. I promise. And again, this is another form of controlling what you can't. And that will ultimately hurt your relationship more than it will help it. So this one's hard for a lot of people to understand, but I want you to consider, when you think it's my fault, I've caused this pain, or I should have done more, this might be causing more problems in your mixed faith marriage because of the control trying to sneak in, because of shame trying to sneak in, because now their feelings are not right and their choices are not right. That undermines a marriage. And this can block connection, support, and respect every single time. It really, really does. Okay, myth number 3. Kids will be confused. These are 3 of my daughters. I have 4 kids. These are 3. I hear this a lot. If we're not on the same page regarding religion, the kids will be confused. I know I've certainly believed it myself. Now, the catch-up paradox applies here. If you believe that kids will be confused, if you're in a mixed faith marriage, your brain will find evidence why this is true, and it will ignore the evidence that shows to the contrary. We do this all the time. We find all the reasons why the kids are suffering, and we miss seeing the catch-up. We miss seeing how maybe they're not suffering, or maybe some of the valuable lessons they're learning. So I think it can be helpful to ask certain questions here. How might this not be harming them? What might they be learning that could be helpful? What could be the benefits of being a child in a Mormon mixed faith marriage? I also want to offer you another way of looking at how kids are impacted by a Mormon mixed faith marriage. What if this was an opportunity to teach them that in this family, all are accepted and loved? There are no conditions placed by mom or dad on, each other regarding the decisions they make. Doesn't decrease their acceptability, their lovability, their belonging in this family. You can be who you are. You can make the decisions you are, and you are still loved and important member of this family. I'm not saying don't set boundaries and have rules. I think that's important, but the underlying premise of the family culture could be love and acceptance. And I would argue that has a real impact on kids, really good impact on kids. Okay, these are the 3 myths I wanted to talk about. And I think if we can dispel them, we can alleviate a world of difficulty that we experience in our mixed faith marriage. Something else I want you to consider. What are your own myths? I just brought up 3. I'm sure there are others. How are they blocking you from connection, from respect, and from support? You might want to take some time this week and really think about that and come up with some and decide, do I want to keep holding on to these, or is it time to let them go? So the next question then is, what can you do to create more connection, more respect, and more support in your Mormon mixed faith marriage? So my marriage was a complete mess after my faith transition. We were not all smiles. We were not all cuddles like you see here. It was not pretty. I remember going out to eat once and to talk about it. It was a mess. Like, I'm sure the waiter was so glad when we finally left that restaurant. We kept working on it, and we figured out ways to create connection, respect, and support. And we used coaching tools heavily to do this. First off, we had to have awareness around some of the myths we had, some of the belief systems that were undermining our marriage and causing us to put up walls around connection, respect, and support. And then we put into place new belief systems that helped us create connection, respect, and support on purpose. And it takes work, and it takes time, and it takes effort, but trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. I absolutely promise you. And one great tool to use to really create this connection, respect, and support is coaching. Coaching is a really powerful tool to strengthen a mixed faith marriage. I am offering a group coaching program coming up soon called Loving and Strengthening Your Mixed Faith Marriage. And I want to tell you about it now. Now, if you just came to listen to the 3 myths, you're welcome to go. But if you're interested, stick around. I have a little bit more to share with you. So I have a 12-week coaching program coming up this Wednesday. And I want to tell you some of the things we're going to talk about in that group coaching program. What you can expect is to learn all of this. How to let go of fear of being in a mixed faith marriage, how to have hard conversations without anger, withdrawing, and I'll add defensiveness, how to make decisions that honor both partners, how to communicate clearly and directly, how to not react from your out of control emotions. Instead, how to use emotions to create the relationship you want, how to move on from grief and pain from a faith transition, how to set goals to build your marriage, how to create a new foundation, and how to fall in love again. Details are, this starts Wednesday, like this week, June 8th. It's a 12-week course. We meet for an hour call each week on Wednesday evening. And these are the times. You can sign up directly here at this website. You can email me any questions you have. This group coaching program is the most affordable way of working with me. It's for anyone. If you and your spouse want to join it, it's fantastic. We'll sign up as individuals in the group. You will benefit tremendously. If you want to sign up and your spouse isn't interested, sign up. You will benefit tremendously. It only takes one person to make some significant changes in a mixed faith marriage. You do not need your spouse to sign up to join this group. It's small, it's confidential. If you have any more questions, feel free to email me. I want to offer you one final thing before I wrap up, and that is to join the group. You also get a copy of my workbook. In this workbook, it is packed with teachings and exercises and tools to help you really have strong and powerful mixed faith marriage. And if you join the group, you will get that mailed to you. I'll mail a copy for your spouse too, if you are interested in having a copy for them too. I have one extra bonus. If you act on it in the next few days, I want to share this bonus with you, and it has to do with this. This is a really fabulous bonus. If you sign up for a free call on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday coming up here, I'll ship you a free copy of this workbook. There are limited slots. You can get yours by going to the address on the screen. You can sign up for your free call. Your marriage is, I know, the most important relationship in your life, and you've got to take care of it. You really do. I have learned that the hard way. And coaching is a great way to make an investment in your marriage and to prioritize your Mormon mixed faith marriage. To learn the skills you need to have a successful mixed faith marriage, there are different skills sometimes than the skills, I should say a lot of times, than the skills that were necessary when we were in a same faith marriage. It's time to learn those skills. It's time to take care of your marriage. All right. Wishing you the very best.